Hello again. We're talking about the origins of narcissism or narcissistic personality disorder. A lot of folks are really interested in trying to understand where in the world does this come from. Hello, I'm Dr. David Hawkins, director of the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotional Abuse Institute. And, I know a lot of folks want to understand narcissism. It's a term that everybody is using. It means a lot and it means nothing. So, for our purposes, I want us to think about narcissism as profound selfishness and emotional immaturity. And we all have it to one extent or another, but at its extreme, it becomes a personality disorder. And even in moderate amounts, narcissism and selfishness and taking advantage of others for one's own gain, it's really, really harmful and destructive in a relationship. Where does it come from? How does it develop? I'm going to give you 5 different factors that contribute to someone developing narcissistic traits. The first is genetics. Yeah, sure. The people who have genetic predispositions to NPD and narcissism are more inclined because of having a genetic predisposition. There are certain temperaments that are developed because of genetics, brain structure, and so on. And that actually is the second factor, and that is brain structure and brain functioning. We know that narcissistic and people with extreme narcissistic traits, they have differences in their brain, and so they struggle more than perhaps the average person with empathy and emotional regulation, decision making. And so we know that at its extreme, those with NPD have next to no emotional empathy, challenges in their ability to connect with others. And by the way, let's remember that connection and feeling another person, that's the foundation for a healthy relationship. So if your genetics and if your brain structure are lead you to a predisposition, all right, that leads us to our third point. Third point is early childhood experiences. All right, we know this. We know that trauma and someone who's received excessive praise or excessive criticism. So perhaps they think they're better than the next person. I work with a lot of men who are very, very bright, and they learned early on that they're just kind of a cut above others, and they use that superior intellect to gain advantages over others or to compensate for feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. We know that neglect, I don't think we look critically enough at the issue of neglect as it pertains to someone's development or how they are in a relationship. So, someone who has experienced unstable parenting, we know this, you know this. A child needs consistent, stable affection and care, and if they don't receive it, they're going to have trouble later on in life. All right, the fourth is cultural or societal influences. Maybe this individual was raised in an atmosphere where competition and success were dominant and individualism was dominant. Yeah, you got to be successful. You've got to achieve. You've got to come on. You got to drive yourself. We see at the Marriage Recovery Center and the Emotional Abuse Institute, we see an inordinate number of folks that have achieved a great, 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 great deal in life, and they know it, and they start to believe that they're a cut above or that they have to be a cut above. So competition can be a fun and healthy thing, and it can, oh my goodness, it can cause so much damage. And you know that you can feel when someone has an over attachment to competition and achievement and success and drive. Oh my goodness, it really, really can damage an individual. And the last one, the fifth factor, is psychological factors. Psychological factors. Perhaps the individual has a deep sense of inadequacy, a feeling of inferiority, which creates then a myriad of defenses to compensate. They struggle if they start to feel inferior in any way. Poof, can't have that. And so then they overcompensate, always driving to achieve more and more and more. The interplay of all of these factors takes form in NPD, or narcissistic traits. So there you have it. There's I don't know how much that really helps us to understand, because what we do in our treatment program is we look at where an individual is at this point in time. How are they functioning? Have they developed a sense of arrogance as a psychological compensation for feeling inadequate? Do they have shame sensitivity so that they can't sit with feelings of healthy remorse or healthy shame, not toxic shame, but healthy shame? So are there genetic factors? Are there early childhood factors that they've got to resolve, early childhood trauma that they've got to live beyond and resolve within themselves? All of these factors. So here's perhaps the most important thing I could say, folks, and that is whoever has developed narcissistic traits or narcissistic personality disorder, they are going to have to take ownership of all of that if they ever want to grow beyond it. It won't be enough for anyone outside of the narcissistic individual to confront them. As important as that is, they will ultimately have to look at these early childhood experiences, their genetic predisposition, their cultural and social influences, their psychological makeup, if they are prone to poor attachment or lacking in empathy. They will have to take ownership of all of that. And if they do, then there is a chance, albeit limited perhaps, but there's a chance that they can grow and develop healthy attachment and a healthy level of psychological functioning. All right, I hope that's been helpful. Please click on the link to subscribe to future videos and contact our client care team if you would like further help in determining a direction going forward. All right, take care. I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. God bless.